mindset is everything. That's why I have so
Yeah.
many entrepreneur clients that have built multi-million dollar businesses and created lives that take their breath away. It's mindset. And so all of you that are wanting to shift your health and you can't, it's because you have these habits. Your body, a habit is when the body becomes the mind. And when you
Yeah.
start to say no to sugar or say no to alcohol, all of a sudden your body's up in roar. And so when you can train your brain how to think, which is why those affirmations and that miracle morning ritual is so important.
Let's learn how our next guest gets up, dress up, and show up on purpose. Enjoy the episode. Hello, morning enthusiasts. Welcome to the best morning routine ever. I am your host, Lunid Lewis, and today I have the honor of introducing a very special guest, a very special man to the show, Steve Wiltshire. He has made fitness, health, and mindset a priority for the last 3 decades. Shortly after winning the Mr. Oregon bodybuilding contest, Steve developed an autoimmune disease that originated from a serious gut complication that almost ruined his health. Now, 18 months later, after being diagnosed, guess what? Steve healed himself. And we're going to hear about that process. We're going to hear about his journey. And so his journey, because of this journey, he has developed a process that has led him to help thousands and thousands of people reclaim their wealth, their health, and their power. So with no further ado, Steve, welcome to the show.
Dr. Lewis, it's a pleasure to be here.
It's an honor. It's an honor, my good sir. Tell us about that journey and you leading up to that autoimmune disease that almost took ruined everything for you.
Well, I first of all want to acknowledge you for the work you're doing. I love your podcast that I've listened to. I am so excited to share you with our large following, and everyone, you're in the right place. This is an extraordinary podcast, and you are doing beautiful work in supporting humanity. Hear that?
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. Yeah. So, gosh, going back, in my past, I remember being at an entrepreneur convention. I was a pretty successful entrepreneur at 26. It was a long time ago. And I remember this keynote speaker getting to the end of this convention with thousands of people. And she got quiet for 3 minutes, like literally quiet. Everybody was so quiet. And she said, I have one question for you. Write it down. What are you sick and tired of being sick and tired of? And I wrote, I hate my body. And I realized at that point, it made me feel insecure. And so I came home, and my wife had been choreographing a Miss Olympia, which is like a top 10 in the world bodybuilder. And she just happened to lead me down that path. Now, that wasn't really what I was looking for, but back then there wasn't like a lot of gyms. And so I all of a sudden got plugged into this community of bodybuilding. And although it served me in many different facets, what didn't serve me was the aggression of these meal plans and all these
Mm.
supplements. What ultimately got me sick was supplements. I didn't know that there was 92%. I thought all supplements are good for you. I mean, I did
Yeah.
not know that. And so when I realized after research that 92% of the supplements on the market have chemicals in them, and 87% are owned by a pharmaceutical drug company disguised
Mhm.
as a supplement company, I could see that this journey that led me down this path of me not really knowing functional medicine. Back then there was no such thing as functional medicine. So one day I'm out with my son having dinner at a vegan restaurant, and I'll just say my gut completely quit. I all of a sudden was bloated all the time. I went to the doctor. All my blood tests looked great. His mom, my son's mom, had been on this 2-year journey of healing herself from third stage cancer. No radiation, no breast cancer. no chemotherapy, no surgery. So she started me down that path of functional medicine. And what I realized after her leading me to what I call healers, many naturopaths that were just really healers, I had this terrible case of candida that I could not get rid of. And it was compromising my health. If you really study autoimmune, on the lowest level, you have celiacs. On the highest level, you have MS. And when you end up going down that journey, that path, that is when your health will definitely diverse. You would just continually experience more heartaches unless you start to take charge of it. So I just went down that bodybuilding realm and ended up winning a couple bodybuilding shows. I was a keynote speaker traveling all over the US and Canada and UK. And I thought, why not? What I want everybody to hear, it was really a great journey because I just made a decision, I was going to allocate this time to get in the best possible shape of my life at 45 years old. And it wasn't really about winning, although I won every category and every show. What I learned was it was the only thing in my life that nobody had control over, because I made a non-negotiable out of my workouts, my meal plan, my supplements, not knowing what was eventually going to happen. But in all of that, it became a gift because I know I'm here to help people change. And so after I just received this as a gift to heal and to become more aware, I knew that I wanted to pay it forward. And that's when Body Temple was born, Body Temple Health and Wellness, which is our passion.
Body Temple. I love that name too,
Well,
because you have a,
I
yeah,
actually can you see the tattoo? I got the tattoo on my forearm after I had healed myself. I told myself I'm going to get one tattoo. And after I heal myself, I'm looking to look at this every day and I'm going to remember what choices I am making that is keeping my health exactly where I want it to be.
why do you call it temple? Because I know you believe that the gut is the mind of the body, right? So tell us how you coined that together. Why temple?
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily that similarity as much as this is pretty deep, but as human beings, we easily take advantage of our body. The one gift that we're given in this lifetime that differentiates from our spirituality, that our faith, where we live forever. And when you start to think about the way the body is designed, I don't know how anyone could not believe there's a God, a universe, a higher self, a part of our internal world that lives forever. And I find it fascinating that nobody talks about this. I didn't learn this from anybody except for meditation. That's why I love your show. I'm all about my morning meditation. Call it my miracle morning meditation. Nobody gets that but me and God. And it sets me up for my day. But in all of that, I remember when I heard Spirit Source say to me, that's the reason for the frontal lobe. Your free will that you've been given is in your physiology is the frontal lobe. And that's your ability to think a deeper level of awareness. So when you start to look at animals, it's called the primary mind. Our primary mind is like an animal. That's flight and fight. That's instinct. That's reactionary. And scientists say that the frontal lobe is really 40% of our brain. And the frontal lobe has a capacity for, if we were to translate that into megabytes, it has the capacity of 1 trillion megabytes. And most human beings are walking around with 2,000. And that means you're not learning to think. I hear all these podcasts. I help thousands of people. Lynn, who is my son's mom that I talked about, my best friend, my wife of 15 years. We divorced many years ago. Who knows why, but we're just here to be in partnership and to support people. And what I'm getting at is that, if education was enough, everybody would be successful. It is your ability to tap into your soul that's 2 steps ahead of you. And I'm going to tell you, that is where all the magic comes. It's not by doing, it's by being. And so everything that I've created, and I've been an entrepreneur for years. I've written 3 books. I've written 100 curriculums, Embody Temple, everything that we wrote, that we created, wasn't recycled material. It came from our own experience and being aware that, mindset is everything. That's why I have so many entrepreneur clients that have built multi-million-dollar businesses and created lives that take their breath away. It's mindset. And so all of you that are wanting to shift your health and you can't, it's because you have these habits. Your body, a habit is when the body becomes the mind. And when you start to say no to sugar or say no to alcohol, all of a sudden your body's up in roar. And so when you can train your brain how to think, which is why those affirmations and that miracle morning ritual is so important. So this is what we do. We help people create these ideal plans to take charge of the health, body, mindset.
Yeah, I really love that. The temple, it's sacred. We ought to look at the body as a sacred vessel that we
Oh,
need
yes.
to care for, um, to make sure that it stays healthy. And so tell us how you're helping your clients, right? Because you're giving them health and power from your experience, from your journey. Tell us about that process.
Since we have a short amount of time, I'm just being a keynote speaker and doing 2,800 events. I'm thinking about your audience right now that's listening. And that is why we created this complimentary program. It took us 8 months. Like we wanted to have, I know that when you start to study transformation, all transformation happens in an environment. You don't just wish your marriage to get better, your partnership to get better. You don't wish it into fruition. You find an environment, like you go to a counselor or you do an online program or you go to a marriage encounter or a partner encounter. You go somewhere and you start to learn what you don't understand and apply that to that part of your life. And it's just the same way with our health. When we want to shift, we have to come up with a plan. So we created this 15-day kickstart detox program to help our listeners and all of our podcasts be able to, first of all, make a decision they're ready for change. Second, come up with their ideal plan. And third, and most importantly, shift their poor habits to ideal habits and to notice their triggers. And so what you'll realize in this 43-minute video that you have access to, it's in the show notes, but it's simple to remember. It's called bodytemplekickstart.com. Body Temple's the name of the company. Just remember that. Kickstart your health. So bodytemplekickstart.com. That first, you're going to receive 3 suggested plans to choose from in this 15-day kickstart period to take charge of your health, body, and mindset. What does that mean? We realized when we were writing this that we needed to design 3 plans for 3 different kinds of people. And first of all, that person that needs a simple plan that just needs to get back on track and feel like they have progress and results in those 15 days. And some of you know that you're ready to take your health to the next level and things are okay, that you want to go to that extra mile and you're an achiever. And we designed a plan for that. And then third, some of you are extremely sick. You know it's time to make change. You're suffering, and we designed a plan for that. And second, we're going to teach you about gut health. You mentioned earlier, Dr. Lewis, the gut is the mind of the engine of the body. It's the mind of the body. And gut health is ultimately, in all my research, the cause for most problems. And when you understand gut health, it took us months to write our Kickstart Gut Detox Manual, which just is a whole process of learning how to restore the gut and to keep it healthy over a period of time. And then third, you're going to receive our practices on consistent detoxing. I mean, there's so many toxins in the world. It's in our water, tap water. It's in processed food. And so like, there's not a day that I'm not in the sauna. or at Bikram yoga. There is not one day
Right.
that I don't do that. Like I am constantly detoxing. I'm 58 years old. People are blown away when they ask me how old I am. And they're like, damn. But it's because I want to be in this elevated state of joy. I don't want to be here on the planet when I look at how many people, get older and what their life is like. Like if I don't have vitality, why be here at all? Fourth, you're going to
Right.
learn how to shift your
I
poor
agree.
habits. Yeah, isn't that right? And I know I'm
Mm-hmm.
rolling through this pretty quickly, but we're almost, out of time. But fourth, we're going to teach you how to shift your poor habits to ideal habits and notice your triggers. So I'm a mindset coach and I have been for 26 years. And when I realized that nobody was really teaching this, I knew that I needed to teach them how to take the baton, to understand how to train their brain, how to think. And then the last part of the Kickstart Detox program is to um, find products that are chemical free. What I will tell you is that we don't really have a big product line. We have 3 products that focus on gut detox, digestion or digestive enzymes, and also immune pre-probiotic. And I've been on 3 podcasts that are called podcast hackers. I didn't even notice they existed. They just reached out to me different periods of time over the last year and a half saying, your product line is top 1%. And we expose all these products that people are buying that they shouldn't even be buying. They are worse than nothing, just drinking water. Like it's just a thing. There's so many chemicals in products, and we can pursue that at a young age before we start. As we start to get older, you just can't
It gets
process.
harder.
Yeah.
It gets a lot harder.
What's your
So
recap
I
of
want to
your
talk
time?
about your morning routine. How do you get up, dress up, and show up? What are some of the habits that you have in place to help you
Yeah,
succeed?
that's what you're about. I actually have a whole process in our online community. And when you opt into the Kickstart Detox plan, you'll notice that there's 5 steps below that video. And the one thing that I want to say to everybody, if you think you're going to remember to watch the video, you're not unless you actually write it down. You've got to be intentional. I mean, I write everything down, or better said, goes in my online calendar. And what you'll notice that below that video, step 1, it says, take our 3-minute evaluation. Well, the reason it's 3 minutes, we thought of everything that you could possibly want, not want in health. You're just checking those boxes out, and then it spits out this like process for you. But when you take that, what will happen is you'll hear from a body temple coach. They'll reach out to you and they will give you what's called a health breakthrough session, complimentary. And then they will lead you to our resource library that you can have full access to. And my miracle morning ritual is designed, it's all outlined. But in all of that, I will just say that those of you
What's one of the 2 things on your miracle morning?
most important is I always listen to a guided meditation. Now, what I want all of you to know is that there are guided meditations all over YouTube. And the secret is to notice what you're feeling and thinking when you're waking up. If you have anxiety or you have pain or you have joy, or you have you start to focus on what am I feeling? Am I in a great state or am I not? And what's up? And then when you go to YouTube and search anxiety, guided meditation anxiety, or guided meditation gratitude, or guided meditation, and you start to practice breath work, you will start to notice that your whole physiology will change. Second, you got to write affirmations. And
Yeah.
what are the affirmations? What are the 4 most important areas in a human being's life? Physical, spiritual, relational,
Mm-hmm.
and financial/career. And when you write those affirmations, you train your brain how to think. When I am frustrated, or I'll say fearful, I will say, good things are always happening to me.
Mm-hmm.
When I have adversities, I always say, I'm going to love my life no matter what.
Right.
When I wanted to get rid of alcohol after I healed myself from autoimmune, I just realized I could go into environments with people and music. And there was so much memory in my body of fun. You know, I'm a great dancer. I get around people. I mean, for years, I just could not meet people in environments that promoted alcohol. And all I wrote down for physical was I meet friends in nature, not in environments that promote alcohol. I had to go through a period of time where I just was going to diminish alcohol out of my life forever.
Yeah.
And so it's called contrast, wanted and wanted conditions. Many of you are just going into life day to day, and you've got these wanted and unwanted conditions. And when you have unwanted conditions, you ask yourself, what do I want different? Write an affirmation.
Yeah. I love the affirmation aspect of it because it really rewires the brain. Yeah, rewires the brain for it becomes a new habit for you. So I'm really glad you shared those affirmations with us and you made it personal. You've really you tweaked them so that your body responds to it. I really, really am grateful that you have shared with us today, Steve. Glad you came on the show.
You're amazing.
Briefly, one more time, tell us how to connect with you and how to find you, and that would be great.
Yeah, I could send you to the site, and we've done that before, and people bought product that didn't have the 35% discount, or they, I want you to have that free gift of that 43-minute video. And I'm going to tell you, if you like what you heard from me, you are going to be blown away over what you hear from Lynn Johnson Wilshire, who is my partner, who Joe Dispenza would say is not the same person. Like everybody, she's unrecognizable to the people that have known her for years. She is an elevated being
Yeah.
that has gone through much transformation, and the love and we didn't even have to edit anything.
So
She step two.
we're going to the site. Which way? Where we're going?
It's the bodytemplekickstart.com. It's the free
Okay.
gift that Dr. Lewis will add in the show notes below. But you might be driving or hearing it, and just it's simple. The URL is www.bodytemplekickstart.com. And that will give you access to our community, our 3-minute evaluation, the Kickstart video that we've been
Awesome.
talking about. It's all there for you.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. This has been very insightful, Steve. Thank you for your time today.
You're so beautiful. Such a great podcast. Well done. You're doing great work in the world, my friend.
you're, you're amazing.
Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please comment and tell us what was your favorite part, your favorite habit that you are going to try out for yourself today. Comment below. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Until next time, I will see you at the top of your best morning routine ever. Stay blessed.